Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Joe Kernan from Squawk Box absolutely humiliates this Biden stooge live on air. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have the cure to Bidenflation and Harris economics, but more on that later. Now, let's dive in.
We need stability, predictability. And what you will have in him is unpredictable, chaotic, based upon how he feels on a particular day. And I do worry that the tariffs, but last week he said a 200% tariff on John Deere. Where does that come from? That will only raise prices and put people out of work at John Deere.
Well,
so
we
can't afford it. It is way too risky.
When we've had surrogates on for the Trump campaign, they have said that he doesn't really mean any of these things. They would just be tools for negotiation.
Then why does he say them? Why would I believe that? He says it. He's doubled down on it. He repeats it. By the way, he was president. We know what that resulted in. Massive
like you kind of forgot that. Seems like you kind of forgot that earlier. Yeah, and the tariffs that he did put on were continued by the Biden administration. There was no recession. Real wages were actually up. Stock market did well. A lot of very positive things happened. Record low unemployment until the pandemic. So it's just weird to act like it's a complete wild card what kind of president he would be when you've got a blueprint right there of what kind of president he would be. And Kamala Harris has been vice president for 4 years, and we've seen exactly what kind of vice president she would be.
Right. What have you seen? You've seen more manufacturing in this country since any time since World War II.
I've seen real wages go down. I've seen, crime.
That's not true.
What's not true?
I just don't agree with that.
Real weekly wages have gone down. Average weekly wages are still down from when Biden came into office.
When Biden came into office, we saw sky-high unemployment, sky-high
pandemic, but
inflation.
Prior to that, but before the pandemic, it was 3 points.
But we've discussed this. You can't discount the Trump administration. You can't say the economy was great during the Trump administration
until the pandemic.
If you somehow exclude the pandemic and then turn around
if you want to do the pandemic, fine. But prior to that, the economic policies resulted in a very good economy.
But then you can't then say, well, the economy was somehow terrible during the Biden administration and pretend the pandemic didn't happen.
Part of the inflation that caused real wages to be down is from the pandemic, but piling on all the stimulus and all the spending is what really exacerbated that situation. We've seen both presidents.
None of those things were related to the pandemic.
I just don't think you can say it's going to immediately be a recession when that didn't happen the first time.
Secretary? Madam Secretary,
I would just say 4 years ago, we were saying, could there be a soft landing? It's been a featherbed landing. Inflation's on its way down. Manufacturing is up. By the way, deficits exploded under Trump.
Manufacturing's been flat for 2 years.
Now,
A featherbed landing. A featherbed landing? What are these feathers made of? Spikes and tungsten wrapped in lead and then with a nice coating of plutonium to make sure that you get radiation poisoning? Are you serious? A featherbed landing. Look, we can admit that Trump primed the economy with a lot of money with the PPP loans and especially all those $1,000 bailouts. Listen, I get it. The conservatives weren't happy that happened, but guess what? By definition, it worked. Now, that did flood the economy with money. So what did the Biden-Harris administration do? Okay, so it's been flooded with money. Let's give the economy a stimulus package that does absolutely jack squat. That stimulus package pushed us over the edge. It pushed us right across the cliff, and we got no recovery out of it. This was an absolutely stupid move by the Biden-Harris administration, and of course, this woman has to defend it. Why? Because this is, let me pull her up here real quick. That is Gina Raimondo, who was the governor of Rhode Island from 2015 to 2021. Then she was the Secretary of Commerce for the Biden-Harris administration. Now look, she actually got a positive rep by some ex-conservatives like George Will. Yeah, congratulations. That's not exactly a seal of approval here. George Will said that she's a moderate technocrat that isn't woke. Well, congratulations, that's a low bar to clear now, isn't it? Hey, y'all. I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon, but my parents are. and friends of my parents are. And I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat'd him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. Let's consider for a moment that this woman was actually good at her job, which in fact, if she was, we would have had a better economy. But we didn't. We got a very weak economy, a poor recovery, and you know what we really got out of the deal? Let's pull that up for just a moment. Let's see. The best thing that came out of the Democrat administration was the CHIPS Act, and it was a bipartisan act. Why? All of the manufacturing of our superconductor chips are made in Taiwan. What nation is currently threatening Taiwan? Oh, that big one with the, the Chinese Communist Party? You know that country? Yeah, that was the best thing that the Biden-Harris administration could possibly do, and it was so bipartisan because it was an obvious choice. We have to do this, and so it gave us a manufacturing boom. Yeah, except that wages haven't really risen to match the inflation. There's been nothing done to really help with that situation. And instead, everyone is terrified of Trump's rhetoric. And that's what she kept on going back to. She kept on going back to, well, Trump is all about chaos. He keeps on talking about tariffing John Deere. Okay, let's see. John Deere hires a woke CEO who says that he's a woke CEO and tries to wokeify his company. So let's see, all these rural people who don't like this woke CEO, who don't like the wokeification of their country, and don't like John Deere anymore. And so Donald Trump is smart and actually absolutely pinpoints a major pressure point and says, why don't we tariff John Deere? You know what? We don't like John Deere. They've done something really dumb. We need to punish them. And the crowd went wild. And Democrats and conservatives hear that and go, oh, that's a terrible idea. We can't be doing this. This is not conservatism. This isn't good for the economy. Are you kidding me? This is a great idea because it's merely rhetoric. And Democrats are terrified of rhetoric because they understand the power of speech. And that's why she's so coy in the way she's talking. She is projecting the idea that the Biden administration and Harris are all about just keeping the status quo. Everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. Everything's just okay. The only people who believe that are rich white liberals who live up in their ivory towers. They're secluded from actual society that is hurting. The middle class is hurting, the lower classes are hurting, the working class is hurting. They are mad, and they love Trump because he is a wrecking ball to that system that has made everything for them worse. And she wants to talk about a featherbed landing. This makes me unusually mad. I don't care that she's a moderate technocrat. She carries water for one of the worst administrations since Jimmy Carter. This has been a malaise that we haven't seen in 50 years. And it's time to get someone in charge and other people in charge to absolutely get America back on track. I believe that we can keep making America stronger, greater, and better for the world and for its citizens. Whereas the Democrats and like Gianna Raimondo are okay with the status quo. The status quo is not okay. It's really that simple. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politburo. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.